let people know that we are giving the people of New York a chance to have a choice for the first time in 24 years. Many of you have heard the story, but I tell it because it is rooted in exactly why I stand here before you. I went home one weekend, told my mother I was quitting my job as host of Saturday Agenda on Newsmax, and after she was done weeping, she asked me why. And I said, well, it's quite clear. There are some things in life worse than not having your own television show, Mother. It's called not having a country. And we are on the precipice. We are on the precipice of this nation that we love falling completely apart because the values that were enshrined in our Constitution by our founders to safeguard a republic they knew they would not live to see, they are under attack. And the person that we have elected to ensure that the hordes never get to those enshrined values that call this nation what it is to be, he has not gotten the job done. He has fallen asleep on the job. And so when we sit here and look at what has happened, seniors who just got the largest increase in a generation, only to watch that increase wiped out due to runaway inflation, to deal with a virus of foreign origin for which we have yet to hold the nation of origin accountable, we have to say there is something wrong with that. When we sit here and look at the fact that we have children stuck behind masks due to people who say follow the science, and yet they don't even want to acknowledge that the same science they tell us to follow dictates that the children are least at risk. And when you have children who need to see the lips moving from the teacher, sequestered away behind the felt that we have strapped to their face, that is, as E. Zeldin called it, child abuse. And we have to make sure that we have children that are being given the tools they need to become the best version of themselves. You know, we have this Democratic Party that calls themselves progressive. And yet I often tell people that, look, I don't care whether you are left of Bernie Sanders, whether you are right of Donald Trump. Chuck Schumer's fingerprints are on everything that has gone wrong in society today. When we look at the fact that the leading cause of death in this country today, age 18 to 45, are fentanyl overdoses. People who do not show up and say, I would like some fentanyl, please. These are people, unsuspecting drug users, who end up taking counterfeit prescription drugs laced with a lethal concoction because we have Chinese cartels that have teamed up with Mexican cartels, and now they are bringing enough fentanyl across our southern border to kill every man, woman, and child that calls this nation home. We have to do something about that because we have leadership. We have leadership that has effectively declared our southern border open sesame, called it the new Ellis Island. I have news for you. Many people in this room, many people across this country, they are the descendants of people who came through Ellis Island, and they came for opportunity. They did not come as a carrier for death and destruction and decay. And so we have to understand that decisions matter. When you look at the fact that we have right now, today, a crime wave sweeping across this nation, big counties and small counties alike, big cities and small towns alike, 12 major cities all across this country, all-time highs for homicide. Here in New York City, we saw shootings up 90%, homicide up 30%, because of the three most dangerous words in politics today: defund the police. Schumer has been in government for 42 years in Congress. He was in the Assembly before that, been in the United States Senate for 24 years. He was supposed to be the wise sage with gray hair that understood that such a notion would be disastrous and destructive. Instead, we saw a 125% increase in ambush killings of law enforcement. We saw children shot down in broad daylight holding their parents' hand. 11 months old being shot in the face in broad daylight. We have workers in the C-suite at Deloitte being shoved to their death in front of subway cars, and then we have the senator from our state, the U.S. majority leader for the nation. He goes down to the Capitol Rotunda, he gets on his knees in African kente cloth, and he calls it justice. I don't think it's justice, it is a moral abomination, and we're going to put an end to it in this election. And so all the issues are vast. But the thesis for our campaign is this, that if you are unhappy with the world as it is today, you cannot vote for the architects who designed it. Chuck Schumer is the architect of architects. Every single problem we face has his fingerprints on it for a reason. Because when you're talking about those people who want to get rid of the college debt, we might think it's crazy. But when you look at the insanity that's behind it, it is the man behind the mask that says cancel the college debt, who is responsible for making sure that the children are prisoners of that debt for the rest of their natural lives. How do we make sure that we get that message out there? We're going to need every single one of you. And so I want to close here because, again, I think the wine is calling quite a few people. But we need every single person to row together, up and down the ballot. The only way we will win this election is if every single person gets the call. You know, I'm reminded of the tale of Paul Revere. It's etched in folklore of this nation, the notion that one man on a horseback was able to ride from town to town, warning the people in our fleshly nation that the British were coming. And so patriots all across the land, they were at the Battle of Concord in Lexington, and guess what? Our republic was born as a result. But you see, he wasn't the only man on horseback that night. And so while he was able to get the message out to enough patriots, there were plenty of towns that never got word, didn't show up for the fight. I'm here to tell you today that we have to get every conservative engaged in this fight. We have to get every Republican engaged in this fight. We will leave no corner unattended. We will leave no conservative behind. We need everyone in this room to be the kindling for the fire that sweeps across the nation, that sweeps across this state, to let people know that they have a chance to have a choice, that we are going to build a New York State and a New York City and a Broome County and a Cayuga County and an Albany County and all the counties combined that work for we the people again. Because you have to saddle up, you have to get on your horse. We are going to spread the word that our time is now, that Chuck Schumer's days are numbered, and that we are going to have a country that is as good as it is written on paper. So God bless every single one of you. I want to make sure that we are working together and we will have an election day that we have never seen before, because we're going to have red up and down the ticket, red all across the town, and red all across this nation. God bless you.